They won't let me contribute my extensive business knowledge to Yahoo Finance, but they can't stop me from giving you a little stock up, stock down fantasy baseball analysis. Let's begin with a couple of toxic assets before we see who's surging. I got to start with Nolan Jones of the Colorado Rockies. He may have been my worst fantasy decision of 2024. We all thought that Jones would regress just a little bit off of last season, but I certainly believed that a decent power speed season was still potentially in play. Instead, Jones's stock has absolutely cratered. He was struggling before he went on the IL earlier this year with a back injury. He was hitting just 170 in the early weeks. And then he picked up a new injury while he was on the IL, and he's been pretty lousy while rehabbing at AAA. He's batting in the neighborhood of 200. He strikes out a couple times a game. Colorado just extended his minor league stay this week because he's been kind of dreadful down there. The ballpark may eventually save him, and we'll probably see a few home runs and a few steals late in the season, but it's been so ugly to this point, we have to consider him a major stock down. Also, Anthony Rizzo. I just sent him to the curb in a couple of my mixed leagues this week because he had gone 1 for 29 over a 7-game stretch, and he was losing some playing time as well. He sat on Sunday and Monday. His average has dropped to like 224, which is just simply too low for someone who isn't giving us, a guaranteed 30 homers anymore. We will always have 2016, but it's just really hard to justify a roster spot for an aging player who's in this sort of slump. But let's look at who's doing well. Let's look at who's surging in early June. And I'm going to start with TJ Friedl of the Cincinnati Reds. Since returning from the IL at the end of May, he looks conspicuously like the old Friedl. He's hit 3 homers, stolen 3 bags in his first 11 games. He's reaching base at a 352 clip this season in limited action. He's been back on top of the lineup when they face right-handers. Let's remember that Friedl launched 18 homers last year. He stole 27 bags, so we can consider him an excellent power speed threat moving forward. One other name I got to mention, Francisco Alvarez. He just came back from the IL. He'd been out since late April with a fractured thumb. Finally returned on Tuesday. Okay, it wasn't like a particularly noisy game or anything like that, but there have been so many catcher injuries across baseball. His return is very well timed. Let's remember that Alvarez hit 25 home runs as a rookie catcher for the Mets last season at age 21. He also came into that season as a top 5 prospect in baseball, so there are high expectations here. We can't promise you necessarily a respectable batting average from Alvarez. That's never easy to find at catcher, but he is a lock for power.